This is Ian from EasyGenie. Today I'm going to be talking about finding church records, church birth records from Scotland's people. If this video helps you, please take a moment to like it and follow me, and let's get started. Scotland's People is the official website of the Scottish government for finding old records. It's a fantastic source of records. One thing you'll need to know before you get started, you need to register, and also you need to purchase these credits in order to download actual copies of the records. I have a separate video which shows how to do it, but basically 80 credits currently costs about 25 US dollars, and then each one of these records, if I download a birth record, it might be 6 credits total. So that's basically how that works. When you come to this particular page, make sure you click on Search Our Records and then select Advanced People Search. And you'll see these different options. Statutory registers, these are for births that take place in 1855 or later. That's when the government started mandating that each local district had to record this information. But if your ancestor was born before 1855, you would select church registers. So select that, and then select birth and baptisms. Now, in this section, you'll notice there's 3 different choices to use. Church of Scotland, Old Parish Registers, also known as OPR. This is the Protestant church in Scotland. It was the dominant church in Scotland from the 1500s until the 1800s. And actually, most records will be found in the Church of Scotland. Some people may have Roman Catholic records, but these are sparse. Not only was the number of Roman Catholics very small in Scotland, I think by the early 1800s it was like 2% of the population. It was actively suppressed, and not many records survive from Roman Catholic churches. And then other churches, this often includes the kind of splinter churches from the Protestant church, for instance, the Free Church, starting in the 1840s. So if you know your ancestor was a member of that particular church, you could search other churches too. But let's just start with Church of Scotland, OPR, and we're going to search for an ancestor's birth, Lamont, and I'm just going to leave this blank actually. Put down male. And then for the year range, you might select something like 1750 to 1855. That's when church records switched over to statutory state records. This is important if you know it. The county and the city where your ancestor was born. You may have this information from some other source. Maybe you don't know it. If you don't know it, just leave all. But if you do know it, you can select Aberdeen. So Aberdeen is actually where my ancestors were born. This is the parish in the congregation. And note that sometimes the parish has the same name as the county. So just make sure you have the county selected first. I'm just going to leave this as all, and then I'm going to search and click search. And let's see what comes up. So there's actually quite a few results for this. There's more than 50 results. So I might look through this. And then if I found somebody, I could actually just click on View Image. It would subtract 6 credits from my total. I currently have 26. So I'd have to pay with credits to view that. So because of the credit system, and it starts to add up after a while, I recommend being very careful before you actually download something. So like I would not go through and download all these images because I'd use up all my credits. So be very careful about who you want to download. Make sure that it looks like it could be the right person. So if your ancestor is not named Alexander, of course, you would not download that. If you know the mother's surname, oftentimes they're listed on these religious records, so you can include that as well. And then, of course, the date's also very important, too, as well as the parish that they lived in. Let's take a look at and see what these images actually look like. So one thing I found is that the older the image, the less clear it will be. It will be harder to read. This one is from the 1700s. And you can see that it's the paper is thin. You can actually see the reverse image of what's on the other side of this particular image. But you can read some of it. It's in English. Usually it's in English. Sometimes for the Catholic records it might be in Latin. Charles Murray in Milton. This is some part of I can't read that particular one. But anyways, you'd have to do a little bit of research. One thing that I've found is that the newer records from the 1800s, they tended to be organized a little bit better. So this person, the local priest, actually used a pencil to kind of draw lines and make it easier to read, and had a system going on there. So that might be easier to read. Sometimes you need to zoom in just to basically see things a little bit more clearly. Okay. And then you can start to do your research and transcriptions and hopefully find out the information that you need. And one last thing to mention about births and baptisms is oftentimes, in addition to the name of the child, for instance, this person was baptized on April 3rd, named I can't really read what the named was. Oh, here it is. It's over to the right. Named David, or sorry, named Anne. We'll also have the witnesses. So witnesses were Margaret, Donald, and George Brebner. And that information may also be useful to your research. And it may not show up in the index. Index usually just has the name of the person, their parents, and the date and the parish. For more information about genealogy, how to get started with genealogy, I run a business called EasyGenie at easygenie.org. We sell these high-quality charts that you can write into to post on your wall or to hand out to relatives or maybe use as worksheets. We also have PDF downloads, including fillable PDFs you can type into if your handwriting is not that great. You can either print them out, share them with other people, or just keep them on your hard drive, and it's very private. And then also if you go to blog, I have all these blog posts related to genealogy because I love family research, I love genealogy, and I like to share what I know. This is Ian from EasyGenie signing off. Thank you so much for watching.